Today's video is sponsored by Native Sons Goods, makers of premium quality guitar, bag, and camera straps, handmade in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Check out their website to order your own custom creation and play in style. And remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel, and I sure appreciate it.
We now join the following program already in progress.
Throw it in the fire!
Anyway, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's not been an enjoyable experience for me, but if it has for you, please hit subscribe down below. Also hit the bell to receive all notifications. And for now, we'll see y'all later. Okay, just pretty much as soon as I started to believe it wasn't going to be an issue, now it's starting to run away. See there? We're up to 150 watts. This right here, this tube, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but that tube right there is at, and now I'm starting to get some major, that's 550 degrees and climbing. It's starting to red plate. So is this one. Let's kill it. I'm gonna have to kill it. Okay, those tubes right there, those two tubes started to red plate once again. I'm just kind of wondering why it would be on one side only. The only other things left would be the screen resistors. These here. This screen resistor and this screen resistor. Those two are just about the only things left. It's funny because on one of the first, Mesa-Boogie videos I did on that Roadster, a guy chimed in the other day and he's like, "Oh, you're a nobody, you're a fool," or something. What did he say? He said, "You're a parts changer," because I went through and I just shotgunned all of the suspect parts. The irony is had I done that on this repair, it would have saved me a hell of a lot of time, and probably, I would be on to something else by now. Okay, so I've decided to go ahead and lift this board on this thing and see if we can't find some bad solder joints or something like that. That's, anything that's obvious is really what I'm hoping for at this point. Now I'm starting to get really fucking annoyed. Can't reach anything in this. This is just a clusterfuck. This whole design, this whole fucking thing is a clusterfuck. First of all, I shouldn't have to be redesigning the bias because you've got it so fucking hot that's gonna burn somebody's fucking house down. And then secondly, this. I mean, look at this. Look. This end of the board barely clears the lip. Okay, so you've got to get this end up first before you can do anything else. I've got to actually bend this board. I've got to warp it because this other end, look at this. See? These are touching. It's up under the fucking lip on the side. There's no room for this thing in this particular chassis. What were they thinking with this design? I don't get it. Why wouldn't they just, give me another 1.5 inches. Is all it really needs. About another 1.5 inches. Or make the board smaller. And then I've got these stupid standoffs to deal with that keep going back down. The standoffs are the problem because they're, if I could get these couple of them out of the way. So what I might have to actually take the standoffs out from the bottom. They won't come out the bottom, but what I might be able to do is, lift up and then take it out the bottom and then kind of lay it down so I can drop the board down and get a better angle. This is just fucking retarded. This is the sort of thing that just makes you mad to work on. Not what I wanted to do with my evening. Okay, you see this? So we've got these standoffs, and I think what I'm going to have to do is actually remove the standoff. So we'll squeeze this and push it through, and it's going to go right back into the hole on the other end. so I'll have to angle it, and then hopefully get the thing to drop out. Now the same thing is probably going to have to happen with this one too. So we'll may as well go ahead and push it through also. We can't. So it's reached its limit.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Well, maybe we can at least get this back one. Let's get this back one out of here. It's almost gone anyway. I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to do here or not. You can see the little nylon standoff right here. And then you've got these in the way. Okay. Come on. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get. Sorry about all the bad camera work here, but this is probably about as good as it's going to get on this one, because this is just, it has ceased to be fun, and at this point I'm questioning ever deciding to work on amplifiers in the first place because of this. I think this definitely might be the last Mesa-Boogie I take in, because this will be the second Mesa-Boogie in a row that has given me fits. So something gives me fits, I don't feel inclined to go back to that same trough again, seeking more punishment. So not good times. And then we got the same fucking thing over here. We got to get this. Now the standoff is completely out. So what's holding it? What is holding this fucking thing? What is it? Is it these wires? Am I gonna have to desolder more fucking wires? I am. I'm gonna have to desolder more wires. Get off of the standoff. See, the standoff doesn't want to come up and off of it. Get the fuck off of it. Damn. And then you gotta take, man, this is, dude, this is not, you can't even flip the board up. There's not even enough room to flip this board up. How am I gonna have to do this? I have to desolder this orange wire right here. Okay, well, I guess let's go ahead and do that then. We'll desolder an orange wire. Alright, so there's that one desoldered. What else? What else? Anything else? Could it be anything else?
You want some more? Huh?
Okay, so there finally is the board out. I will trace out all the bias stuff. That's about the best I can do. I trace out everything that pertains to the biasing on the output. Beyond that, I'm going to concede that this might be one of those cases where the board is heating up and actually becoming conductive on the board. Okay, so I've traced this entire other side of the board, the reverse side, and went ahead and replaced also these two components. These are the capacitor and diode that are in the bias circuit. Both of them test good on the low voltage test equipment that I have, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're not failing at higher temperatures somehow. particularly the diode, could possibly, I suppose, be failing at higher temperatures. Sometimes they do that. But here those new components are. Replaced the diode with an IN 4007, which is what was in there already. Replaced the capacitor with a larger voltage capacitor. It was originally a 63 volt, and I've replaced it with 160 volt. I could replace these screen resistors, but I have tested them and they're fine. I don't know, dudes. If you have an idea, let me know. But beyond that, if this doesn't fix it, I don't know what to do, because I've replaced every single component that has anything whatsoever to do with the bias. If you want to do repair work, you know, you're going to run into situations where you regret having taken something like this in the first place. The only reason I take stuff like this in is to maybe learn something, put it on the channel, put it out there, see what, you know, maybe somebody will get something out of it. In other words, hopefully we learn something from this experience, and that's be very cautious when you take in Mesa-Boogies to work on, because man, are they a pain in the ass. Yeah, you know, don't get me wrong, their service is great. I love the fact that when I call, you know, someone just picks up the phone and they're right there and they've got the parts and they'll sell me parts. Even though I'm not an authorized dealer, they'll sell me parts. But, you know, it is what it is, dude. As far as I'm concerned, they designed this thing poorly on this output. They should not have been running these tubes as hot as they were running them. Anywhere near as hot as they were running them. They were 15, or what was it, 15 or 16 watts of plate dissipation per tube when I first got this thing. So I've tamed that 15 or 16 watts, almost cut it in half. I've got it down to like, what, 8.5 watts or something like that now of plate dissipation at idle. So that's the 70% of what you know, an EL34 is supposed to take, and that's, you know, that's where I like to be on most things on the output. So I just think they were running too hot, because you know all that heat's just going right into the board. It's cooking the tubes, it's cooking the board, and apparently it's cooked something else that I just cannot find, unless, you know, unless it's one of these two components right here. This is pretty much my last ditch effort, that there was one of those. Alright, so I just got off the phone with my buddy Tony at Volition Amplifiers in Evansville, Indiana. He is authorized Mesa tech, and he does a lot more Mesa stuff than I do. So I was just kind of asking him, going over what I have done so far, and just asking him if he can think of anything else that I might want to check or want to do. And, you know, the consensus there is, you know, I've pretty much done, you know, what he probably would have done overall. The only other thing that it could be is an intermittent short on the output somewhere, on the output transformer. And that's kind of the big question mark at the moment. He did give me a suggestion on a way that we can test the output transformer. And I may do that if I have the problem again. But I think for right now, I'm going to go ahead and seal this thing back up. I'm going to reinstall everything. I do know that the back of the board is clean. There's nothing I can see anywhere that looks suspect. If it does it again and it's not the output transformer, we were starting to think that possibly this board, somewhere in the board, is starting to become conductive. Kind of like you see on some of the Marshall amplifiers. If that's happening, then this thing is going to be, the board, at least the motherboard, is going to be trash. Okay, this thing is starting to run away again. I'm up to 115.5 watts on the input. Okay, here's where we are. This has crept downward. It's down to 10.7 now. And this is still going up. So it's about to run away again. Let me check and see what voltages look like here. What am I losing? 402 right there, and dropping. I'm losing plate voltage. Right? Screen voltage is also dropping. I gotta make these measurements quick. 14. I'm still at 14 on this side. But I am losing. Yeah, see, look at this. 129. It's still going. Okay, so I think, let me put it in standby. And now it's back to normal. And it's only doing it on one side. I'm losing bias voltage on one side only. See, right now it's at 13.1 and it's just dropping the whole damn time. It's just reliably doing it now. So this actually may be an opportunity for us to figure out what's going on. I'm sort of wondering if at this point it might be the tubes. Just the tubes were just fried. Yeah, see, it's going to do it again. It's going to run away again. Okay, I want to swap the tubes around. Let's see if the issue follows the tubes. And I'm just going to take the two pairs. I'm going to swap this pair over here and this pair over here. We'll see if the problem sticks with the tubes or if the problem sticks with the socket. If the problem sticks with the socket, obviously we know it's somewhere on the amp. Okay, so I've swapped the two pairs of tubes now. Let's fire it back up. See if we start to get a glowing tube here. Okay, so a few minutes have passed. I've been jamming around this thing, and yeah, sure enough, we're losing bias on this side over here, and it's staying with the tube sockets and not following the tubes, so it's not a tube issue. Okay, at this point I have no output tubes, and I want to measure the negative voltage at the socket with no output tubes conducting. So okay, so it's been a little bit now, and this voltage has just remained rock solid, rock steady with no tubes in. So normally I would have said, oh, it's the tubes, but the thing is I swapped the tubes around and it stayed with the socket, so I know it's not the tubes. The only thing I have not rebuilt in this entire amp on the output, having to do with either the output or the bias voltage on the output, is the output transformer. There is a test we can do on the output transformer. We're going to get a miniature lamp here. So we'll get one of these little guys. This is neon. Okay, this is a 30K resistor that we're going to put in series with this lamp. These two terminals are going to the output right here. They're just tied into this speaker jack. So the jack is going to these two terminals. So we're going to go to this lamp on one side. We're going to go to this 30K resistor on the other side. We're going to take another clip. We'll connect these two together in series. Okay, so what we have here is we have these two, the light and the resistor, basically just across the output. So that's across the secondary. We'll lift the center tap to isolate that center tap. And then the idea is we're going to take a 9-volt battery. We're going to connect one side of the 9-volt battery to one side of the primary of the output transformer. We're going to take the other side of the 9-volt battery, connect it to the other side of the output transformer's primary. We're just going to touch it momentarily to complete the circuit. And what should happen is we should see a rapid rise in voltage on one side of the transformer, and then there should be a flashover current on the secondary of the transformer, which should be about 80 to 85 volts, and it should light this bulb momentarily. If it does not light this bulb, then we have some kind of bad winding in the output transformer. Alright, in 3, 2, 1. I'm in nothing. Then yeah, we have a bad output transformer. Okay, so just to prove that this concept actually works on a known good transformer, I'm going to take this output transformer from an old PA. I'm going to use the primary, so I'm going to go from the center tap of the primary to one side and then the other side of the primary, so we'll be able to test both halves of the primary winding individually. And I have these leads are connected to my, over here, to my little in-series bulb and 30K resistor. You can use 100K resistors is what is usually recommended, but anything in this kind of range, 30K to 100K, is just going to protect the bulb. So we'll be able to see how this works. Now I'm actually I'm actually using my bench power supply right now, and I have it set to 9 volts. So we're just going to test the leads, touch these leads. I'll show you that it actually does work. Let's kill some lights here. I don't know if you can see that or not. You can see it flash there. Alright, so that's one side of the primary right there that I'm testing. Now the other side, there's the other side of the primary, so it's also good. So let's go back to our amplifier one more time, and we'll see if we can't get it to flash. So essentially the only thing I'm going to change these wires here, and I'm going to replace those with my output. Okay, so this is the secondary. These are the wires that normally would go to my speaker cabinet, are coming from this amplifier. So we'll hook these up. We'll test this one more time just to be sure. Okay, so here is one side of the power supply. So we're going to go from the center tap, which is right here. Here's the other side. We're going to check this side over here. No flash. No flash on the bulb at all. Check the other side. Same thing on the other side, actually. No flash. So it's interesting that no matter which side I use there's no flash. So I don't know, some sort of bad winding somewhere in this transformer. It might be multiple places. Anyway, so it looks like we are going to have to contact the customer and see if he wants to invest in an output transformer. I'm probably going to end up recommending a sort of a generic output transformer, because this transformer is not that special anyway. Look at it. This is not anything special. Alright, so that's going to do it for part 3 of this epic Mesa-Boogie repair. I hope you guys enjoyed this part. If you have, please hit subscribe so you can see hopefully what is the finale, which should be coming up. I've already ordered the transformer and it is on the way, so we will see how things go. So until next time, y'all take care.